And we're live. You know, I think the hardest part of going live is the thumbnail. I'm serious because, you try to be creative and different, especially when you're using the webcam and, you're not using a streaming service. I even tried to use a streaming service earlier when we were trying to get the Christmas star in. That was a no-show because of the clouds. I guess it just wasn't meant to be. And I used OBS, and OBS is terrible. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've tried to use OBS for church streaming. I've tried to use OBS. OBS never works. But have you ever had country music just pop in your head? Don't judge me. Do not judge me if you hate country music. I'm sorry. But every now and then, Waylon Jennings, Merle Haggard. I'm talking about good country, okay? I'm not talking about country pop, whatever this country discotheque is that they got now. I'm talking about real country that you really probably should listen to all the time because you get depressed. If you listen to George Jones, Carol and I just sampled some George earlier, and you start listening to Coming to You Live Like I Do Every Night. I can't do them anymore, but probably get demonetized for even. I don't care tonight. Tonight is like a free for all because we had a stream earlier. It was kind of successful. Hello, Gary. Hello, Big Frog. You guys, we're doing country music songs tonight, and I'm probably gonna get demonetized because I just had this pop in my head like 30 minutes ago. I had like a rush of old country. Merle Haggard, George Jones, Willie. I had to listen to Livestream Texas because I used to play that all the time back when, before I straightened up my life and came back to church. I had it stuck in my head. Let's go to Livestream Texas with Waylon. And I didn't say I could sing it good. I just had it in my head. But so I had to put the Aussie hat on. Not that this is a real cowboy hat. I used to have a cowboy hat. I don't know where it went to. Hey, Billy, I didn't see you at last night's stream, and I was worried about you. I was like, where is Billy? But we missed you. Just telling you I thought about you. Good to see you tonight. Glad you guys are here. So thankful. We popped in early. Had a great live stream earlier, despite the fact that the Christmas star was a no-show. And anytime you have a celestial event in December, you're rolling the dice, right? Because of clouds and stuff. I'm almost glad because we had a good live stream as far as the connection was good, but getting the information from the telescope to the computer was already a fail. But we talked. It was fun. And I was surprised at how many people stayed logged on, Carolyn, while I was setting up the telescope. It was like an experiment, and it gave Carolyn a lot of ideas. And something that's come from our live streaming for Vlogmas here is streaming. And I was told, Billy told me this 2 years ago. Juan was telling me this 2 years ago. How many of them they were saying this?
Yeah.
You need to live stream more. Hint, hint, Bill. And so I appreciate you guys for being patient with my stupidity and not realizing that this should be an important part of the channel. And so thank you. And I appreciate you guys coming back for the live stream tonight. But yeah, this live stream, the overall theme to this live stream is just music that pops in your head, nostalgia music. During the Christmas season, what happens during times of tradition, and I know this year's different, and here's the thing, everybody's talking about how this year's different. I'm trying to just say, let's do something else, D'Lo says, you're welcome. I wasn't talking to you, D'Lo. I wasn't talking to you. What's up, man? No, I'm just kidding. By the way, I like what D'Lo's doing on his channel. You guys need to check that out. It's really cool. Just little bits of nature here and there. I watch it all the time. It's like motivation for me. Look, says, will the hat get you 10,000 subs so you can give away the Dutch oven? I'm not giving away the Dutch oven. What is this? I'm not giving away anything except a map. A map. Well, there is one thing. The college kids, those crazy, wacky folks, that I don't know why they watch this, but they do, and I'm grateful. They said I made a promise that if I get to 10,000 subscribers, they'll do a makeup tutorial live, and that on me, and because it's ridiculous. And honestly, we're like 460 people away. They have to do it. You have to do it by January 1st. I think that's what we said, right? January 1st. Yes. If not, that's what it is. By January 1st,
2021.
January 1st, 2021, you have to have I have to have 10,000 subscribers, 460 subscribers to go. Hello, O'Brien says, I heard that crazy, wacky folks. I heard that. Over on Spotify, O'Brien, post a link, man, to your song. It's really cool. He's got this Blues Traveler kind of feeling song that I really like. O'Brien is a talented individual. I don't think there's an instrument he can't play. He's very blessed. And he's got this it's called In 2020, right? I think it's In 2020 is the name of the song.
I think so, yes.
If you want to post a link, you can. We'll post it. And you guys need to check out that song. Justin Thornton says hello. Juan Thomas says, I looked for the star with no luck. It was a no-show. It was a bust. There were some people that I watched that I pulled up, that I accessed, that had, a killer telescope. And they had Saturn and Jupiter pulled in as the same way Carolyn and I would have done it at Spruce Knob or Big Meadows. And yes, it's cool. We like that stuff. Carolyn's really good at tuning in and fine-tuning the planets in. And yet, as far as it being some kind of event extra normal, I know what they're talking about with the moons. You can see all the moons and stuff. But honestly, it was David, you saw it. Was it cool, David, or was it nah? Tell us your opinions about it, because I'm not hearing a whole lot of people. Big Frog Barbecue saw it. O'Brien, so post that link. I'm trying to look for any other comments I may have missed, but been watching for it for a while. I got that George Jones song stuck in my head. Coming to you live like I do every night. I keep singing it in my head. Man, that old country stuff, man, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. You can't listen to it long. Pulls on your soul, man. It'll drag you right into the bar. It's like, I can't stop going. Because it rips on you. But I just had it in my head tonight. Waylon Jennings. When you're in the Christmas season, it invokes nostalgia. And so it hit, George Jones hit my head. Waylon, Merle, all of them just hit my head. I call it the ghost of Christmas past. It's like the ghouls of country music come walking in. There's some interesting stuff that you can find. You can find clips of it on YouTube about some of their stories. I can't remember what it's called. The guy, Judd, whatever, the guy that did Beavis and Butthead, animates it, and it's hysterical. Bill Burr was talking about it on one of his podcasts. Waylon Jennings, Wurlitzer Prize is great. I'll check it out. I will check it out. It's really cool. It's really cool. My Christmas tree does not look like it's leaning now. I think, I don't know, maybe. That Christmas tree has bothered me this year, and I threaten every year we're going to get a new one. We love it. We have a nostalgic attachment to our Christmas tree for reasons that I won't bore you with here. But it was a very special tree. But I think it's time, Carolyn. I think it's time.
It still looks great. It is not time.
Carolyn would keep anything.
No.
Yes, she will.
No.
David Lowe said this. Those are great animations. They are, and they're hysterical. The stories are hysterical. So check that out. The guy that did Beavis and Butthead. Beavis and Butthead was some crazy stuff, if you guys remember it. Or the other one, I can't remember the other one. Big Frog Barbecue and Cookie said, Bill needs a level for Christmas. Oh, man. Don't even. It's not leaning tonight. It's so leaning tonight. It's tilted. Maybe if I hold my head like this the whole time. I don't know. Yeah, you publish that. I don't know why they stopped that. It doesn't make any sense. Adam Connor says, miss you. Adam, what's up, my man? We miss you. Hey, we're talking country music tonight. You're going to love it. We're telling you, coming to you live like I do every night.
You're so going to get demonetized.
I know I'm going to get demonetized. I don't care, because country music's got to be sung. It's just hearing the guitar. I'm gonna have to get a guitar out from downstairs, because a lot of my guitars are downstairs. I said our, like you're like, yeah, I've got a guitar down there. Just to hear a Fender Telecaster over a Fender amp right now and let it whine. It'd be awesome. Miss you too, Adam. I don't mean to bring anyone down, but I need some prayers. Josh Miss Overall Forge. His wife Becky passed away last night. She had a channel called Painting the Roses Red. Carolyn, write that down, and we will definitely be praying for that. I'm very sorry, Billy. Very sorry. This time of year, it seems like, for some reason, more people pass away. I don't know why, but it's like you get more phone calls and more information during this time of year. It's very difficult. I'm very sorry, Billy, to hear that. Adams Conner says, that's why I'm here. You know what? It's like when I mention country music, it invokes joy and sadness at the same time. It's like that's country, And I grew up. I got to thank my mom and dad. They had such a palette for music from Motown, because the sounds of Motown. I had every Motown artist on tape, or yes, vinyl. We had records. I'm old. I had all of them, because Dad had all of them. And for some reason, anything past 1973 was of the devil. I wasn't allowed to listen to it. I don't know why. Dad changed later, but I'm talking about when I was young. But also all of the country greats. And what was so amazing about my dad is that as the song was playing, he would have me, I'm talking about as a little boy, pay attention to the lyrics. And so as a songwriter, I mean, I've written, I don't know, 100 songs, Carolyn, more. And when Carol and I were dating, I was actually pursuing that route. I wanted to be a songwriter. And then it dawned on me I had 2 kids and what's going to happen. It was like, took me a while to make the adjustment. But country music, there's something about it. But we had, Mom and Dad made me listen to everything. Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, all of that played in our house, along with Willie and the Boys. I mean, that's just how it was, and I loved it. Sean said he is a pastor too, but it is really not good on him. I am so sorry. It's awful during this time of year. And I think about if I lost Carolyn, how it would, and we talked about that a little bit today. Honestly, listening to the country song, George Jones, He Stopped Loving Her Today. And I started crying. I was telling Carolyn, because Carolyn didn't know the details of the song. And so I was explaining it to her step by step, what was taking place in that song. And I started crying because I was thinking about her. I was like, I love my wife. And I was like, he stopped loving her. Oh, I'm going to cry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Billy, in this time of year. Very sorry. Adam Carter said, speaking of country music, I have a song I wrote recently. It is being pitched to a legend soon. So prayers for favor would be a prayer. Write that down. Adam, I am so proud of you. Adam took off to Nashville from Chattanooga. Adam, I want to say it was 3 years ago or something, and pursued. And he was positioned to do so. And he also had talent, and he also had favor. I am so proud of you. Adam, I'd love to hear the song. If you can send me a file, BillMarion5@gmail.com, BillMarion5@gmail.com, or send it by message Facebook. I don't know if you're allowed to, if you're already under contract or whatever, or something's pending and you can't, but I'd love to hear it. We'd love to share it if possible. But I would, Adam says, greatest song ever. I'd love to hear it. Please send it. I'm so proud of you. It's so awesome. And I know Adam. That's the cool part, is Adam's going to have a hit song for somebody, some legend. And we're going to be like, I know the guy that wrote that song. It's so cool. That's cool. The last person that I knew, DJ says, BillMarion5@gmail. That is me, DJ, BillMarion5. Make sure you put something in the message to where I know it's you, because I get so much junk because I give my email out like this. So I get a lot of junk, a lot of spam. So make sure you put something in the message where I know it's you. Adam Comer says, I was saying he stopped loving her today. Okay, I got you. It is one of the best songs ever. And if it's like, I have an issue because in church services sometimes, and I've seen this, recently, people will almost lift their hands and praise the Lord if a country music song is playing like that because of the emotion. It's so invoked. But that's one of those songs that you just want to go, bless him, Lord. I almost want that played at my funeral. This is sick. Don't write that down but it's so, it's just so heart-wrenching. Bren G says, hello there. Bren, we are talking about country music, nostalgia. He stopped loving her today. You know what? Even the way you sing it, it's like you've got to get that. It's like your voice has to become part twang. Hi, y'all from Johnson City, Tennessee. Johnson City's in the house. Mike Adams, everything okay over there? Mike Adams says hello from Johnson City. You know what? We got peeps in Johnson City. My youngest daughter is in Johnson City. That sweetheart is working all the way up to Christmas, the day before Christmas Eve, and then she's coming home. We're looking forward to it. I miss all my kids. My son's up here, but he's seeing his girlfriend, and I don't get to see him when he's here. He drives up from Chattanooga. I don't see him because he's got a girlfriend here. So he's with her and her family, and I'm like, but what about me? And he's like, sorry, Dad. I know, I've been there, done that. D-Lo says, oh, man, I can bring the house down with some God Bless the USA. D-Lo can sing. D-Lo's got a good voice. Probably could have done something with that too, man. I mean, I know we're old now, but you got a great voice. Billy at Strong's Adventure says, my favorite Christmas song now is Robert Earl King's Merry Christmas to the Family. Billy, I've got to be honest with you. I'm going to have to write that down, Carolyn. The reason why is because I am so out of the loop right now on current music. And I take that back. I'm not listening to country music right now. I'm not meaning to. It just hasn't, you know what I'm saying? So I will check it out. Bren G says, don't like a lot of country. Sorry. But there is some that I do like. Hey, that's cool. DJ says, how many kids do you have? It depends. I have 3, but when they're screwing up, I have 1 less. Like if one of them's messed up, I don't claim them. I'm kidding. I'm playing. Adam Conner. You know what, Adam? The thing is when I was thinking, when you popped on here, I thought about Nathan. Nathan idolized Adam forever. Nathan thought Adam hung the moon. So yeah, I would definitely tell Nathan hello. He is. He's got himself a Dodge Challenger. Challenger.
Yes, Challenger.
He's got him a cool brand new Dodge Challenger. Well, it's almost a year old now. He bought it last year. And Billy at Strong's Adventure says, my son's girlfriend is from Chattanooga. Crazy. That's a Goocher, man. We got connections all over the place. Everybody here is connected by 7 degrees. Remember 7 degrees with Kevin Bacon? We're all connected. He thought the world of you. Nathan's one of those that he should be, and I told him this. Nathan has a spectacular voice. He is incredibly creative. He's 10 times more creative than I am. He's the most creative in the family in his field. And I said, Nathan, what you ought to do, because he doesn't want to go to college. He's like, he can work with his hands and all that stuff. I said, you need to go to Nashville, work locally, and you need to get in there because he's got the look. And I think he could pull something off. I don't know, but just go for it. And he won't do it. I've even told him just to start a YouTube channel because he's so doggone creative, but he won't do it. So I don't. DJ says my name is Nathan, and he's got one of those. See the connections? Dun 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 dun. We're all connected in here. Billy at Strong's Adventure says, "Roll Tide." Ouch, that hurts. He said, "Roll Tide."
Oh, green. So precious. He said, "Do you mean biological kids or just kids in general?"
Now, biological kids.
Well,
I mean,
because other than biological, we claim all.
Let me tell you something.
At the church.
Let me tell you something. We got 25 kids as far as when it comes to if you extend the family, and we love we love the college kids at the church. And here's the thing: they are such a blessing in every possible way, and we feel like God has really leased them. I say leased them, because I know that they've got destinies and futures, but just to be a part of their life and watch them grow.
Oh, I claim them for now.
And Carolyn's like, I claim them for now, but we adore them and just think they hung the moon. And what's funny is it's not just mom and daddy kind of thing. It's also just a genuine friendship. And I love it. I love every second of it. And I got to be honest, in my calling as a pastor, I never thought we would be the college kid pastor type. And God's like, watch this. And not only is that worked out, but it's been just such a blessing. Actually, Nathan's walking in now. Adam Conner is on here, and he just wants to say hi. Adam, Nathan just walked in the door. I hope you're still on here, but he just walked in the door from seeing his woman. So just pop in the camera here and say hello. Everybody say hello, Adam.
Hey guys.
He actually came in. So there he is. There he is. You can pop down and sit down. We got a live show going. Let's read a couple more comments here. Adam says, "I'm with you. He's very talented." And he does have the look, the entertainer look. Mike Adams says, well, especially to my mother's side of the family. I grew up on rock, country, bluegrass, gospel, and even a little bit of polka music via my grandparents watching the Lawrence Welk Show. The Lawrence Welk Show is awesome. I used to watch it on PBS when I was a kid. Used to watch it on PBS. Hey, Nathan, you're more than welcome. We'd love to have you here as a guest. We're talking about music. And he's like, no. He's like, not going to do it. Anyway. What's that?
I don't look very tip-top.
He said I don't look tip-top right now. They've been out looking at Christmas lights and all that stuff that you do when you're dating. It's Christmas lights. We're going to go Christmas lights. And I just love Christmas lights. Yeah, whatever, dude. Whatever.
Not enough works.
That actually never came out of my mouth.
D-Lo says hello, by the way.
Oh, hi.
He says, hi, good to see you guys. All right, well, back at it, man. Reggie says, no, Strong's Adventure, we're at low tide. That from Princeton. Oh, we're talking football now. It could get rough in here. Billy at Strong's Adventure says, I'm obligated to say that because the boy got a free academic right. Okay, you're allowed to say roll tide all you want to. That's something to be proud of right there. You get a full ride, an academic full ride is just, to me, top tier right off the bat, especially today. D-Lo says, hey, I think he was talking to Nathan. Mike Adams says, most of the members of my family on her side are musically inclined anyway. So there you go. Billy Strong's Adventure says, none of my LSU buddies liked it either. I don't blame them. When I hear Roll Tide, well, pastor down at Abba's house, Dr. Phillips, they love Alabama. They're from Alabama. And man, you'd almost pray that Alabama would win just so he wouldn't be down that Sunday. You know, not down, but you know what I'm saying? Because and then again, the rivalry was just a lot of fun. It was just a whole lot of fun. You know, Tennessee rivalry. Of course, it's not been much of a rivalry for the past 15 years. It's been awful. It's like I'm a Tennessee fan in the SEC, and I'm a Michigan fan in the Big Ten. When they play each other, I just enjoy the game. And they played each other a few times. Tennessee's up on that series, but for a Michigan fan and a Tennessee fan right now, you're in therapy. You're just in therapy. You know, it's been bad for a while. DJ says his name is Nathan. Dennis Jackson says, which is really cool, DJ. I'm looking forward to us.
He was saying, hi, Nathan. I'm Nathan.
Yeah, there's a delay in all that. Yeah. And I'll say this is that I'm looking forward to us talking about the church there. Looking forward to that email. Or however, Dennis Jackson says, hello, Adam. And Adam Connor says, me and my girlfriend did the lights Saturday. Did not. Yeah. And you're knowing the same thing. It's like you're going to see the lights, but at the same time, you're like, eh. And she's over there going, oh, it's so pretty. And you're like, it is. Wow, that's really cool. When you get older and the testosterone levels start, dropping a little bit, then lights are nice. It's cool. Carol and I still go look at lights. We didn't this year. And we were going to. We mentioned it. We may still go, but that Outback is sounding better and better that I was talking about earlier. Mike Adams says, according to my mother, Patsy Cline is our distant cousin. Claimer. Patsy Cline had a haunting voice. She had the most haunting voice in the world. I wish Patsy would have lived longer. Strong's Adventure says, Mike Adams, it's cool. Deborah Botto says, hi, Pastor, love your hat. I made it myself. I'm kidding. This hat right here was given to me by my mother. She had just got back from Australia. Funny story. I don't know if she's in here or not, but it's a funny story. Her name's Violet Johnson. She pops in here all the time. Love having Mom a part of the chat room. She's hilarious. Mom is a very smart woman, but she hates the heat. And she really wasn't thinking when Dennis, her husband, one of my very best friends, he booked a trip to Australia because he'd always wanted to go to the Outback. A 3-week adventure into the Outback. They were 40. They were a little older than me, just a few years older than me. And that would be different. I was in the Army. I don't mind the heat and all that stuff. But here's the thing. At 47, 48, I'm 46 now, but as you get older, it's still, do you really want to sleep in the Outback? I don't care what you see. I mean, it's hot. Mom went nuts on about week 2, like lost it, and started walking into the Outback with the heat. I'm serious. Dennis had to go chase her down. They hadn't been married but about 2 years. And I warned him, I said, she can't stand the heat, Dennis. You need to really pray about this. It was hysterical, but in a very bad way. They ended up paying a whole lot of money to get out of the Outback and get home. Anyway, all that story was to say she brought me back this hat. And I've loved it. That's 20 plus years ago. I want to say it's like 24 years ago or something. DJ says, I'll send you an email by tomorrow night. Church will be in the subject. Church, excellent. Word. By the way, mask up, word. DJ says, or Brent says, Leanne Rhymes sounds a little bit like, yeah. Where is Leanne? Is she still gigging? Is she still out there? I haven't heard that. Oh my goodness. Now check this out. DJI, his name is Nathan.
I saw that.
His son's name is Dennis. The connections are getting deeper in here. Who else has got a connection? Let's drop my mint. There it is. We are all connected. That is so crazy. Strong Adventure says, sorry, y'all, but I need to take a Billy, we're praying. And thanks for coming by, buddy, as always. Very grateful. Very grateful. Juan Thomas, you are in the house. Are you guys still getting snow, or is it all melting away like ours? Let us know. I'm pulling the Joe Rogan. Jamie, pull up the weather for here in Harrisonburg.
Hold on.
I need to call Carol and Jamie all the time, just like Joe does. That would be awesome. Carol and I are redesigning our living room, which just means we're going to set it up as the home office that it is. We're excited about that. That starts in January. It's going to be fun. DJI says, my daughter's name is Olivia. I don't have anything on that one. Do we have a connection on that one? I love that name. Olivia Renee is a pretty name. Olivia Renee. Annabelle Porter says, nice hat. Hashtag Indiana Jones. Dun, 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 dun. Hi, Annabelle. Good to see you. Juan Thomas says, nothing here. Gary Millwood says, I'm the odd man out. All girls. Wah, wah, wah.
All right, so what did you want to know about the weather?
What's the weather going to do the rest of the week to Christmas? What's going on?
All right, so tomorrow is sunny and 42 degrees.
42 degrees high tomorrow, which is, chilly.
Wednesday, Partly cloudy,
Part-
45.
45 Wednesday.
Christmas Eve is 53 and 80% rain.
80% rain on Christmas Eve.
And
Okay.
then Christmas Day, 25 degrees outside and partly cloudy.
How does it go from 50
53
to 23 with
What?
25 with, you know, there's going to be snow in West Virginia.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? We can drive over. I would love to take the kids to snowshoe, but you know how our kids are. So our kids, listen. I love my kids, but I do adore every one of them, and they're in all my videos. I know y'all get sick of some of that. I don't care. It's my channel. Matter of fact, D-Lo will tell you part of the reason I started the channel is just to upload pictures of my kids. I adore my children, and Carolyn does. We're very into them. But they are weird. All three of our kids are strange. And I tell people this, and other families look at us sometimes that are close to this, are like, that. And I'm like, what? They're like, your kids are, you're raising them. And I'm like, I can't fix some of that. They're just odd. So things that a lot of people would find amazing, our kids are like, it's just crazy. A few days ago, New York got hit hard with 5 feet of snow. Yes, they did. We had that system, the same system that hit New York, and it was wonderful. We had 4-wheel drive, and we were out in it when it was hitting, and it hit all day. It started in the morning, and it snowed and iced all day long, so the roads were pretty bad. But we were fine, but there were people in town that were struggling.
Oh yeah, some of the hills by
JMU. There were cars sliding backwards.
3 vehicles.
Yeah, it was bad. Deborah Botba says, "Did y'all see the Christmas star? It was so clear here in Harrison, near the park. Not Harrisonburg, but Harrison near the park.
Yeah, Harrison. Tennessee.
She's in Harrison. Mom said it down in Chattanooga. She lives over in Hickson. Well, it's on the Hickson-Saudi line, and said it was clear as a bell. But I don't know if she saw the star. She said, supposed to have a white Christmas here in Tennessee. I am so jealous.
Right?
Tennessee's going to have, where we used to live, is going to have a white Christmas, and we're not. That weather could change, though. If enough kids pray, we could get some. Actually, Weather Woman brings his Carolyn, Weather Woman. Annabelle saying the same thing. Dennis Jackson says, talk about Patsy Cline. We're back to country. Excellent. Jim Reeves, Buck Owens. I got the reel to reel. We used to have, Dad used to have a reel to reel where Dad interviewed. Your dad used to do radio, if I'm not mistaken, Dennis. Is that correct? And interviewed a bunch of the old stars in Nashville when he was a DJ. That's right. That's right. I'm just going to start calling you Nathan, DJ. Nathan said, we're all strange in our own ways. 4-wheel drive not going to help with 5 feet of snow. There is a level. We took our 4-wheel drive to Spruce Knob. You guys know the video. It's one of the first videos we made on Spruce Knob. We drove up to the top of Spruce Knob in 2 feet of snow? Like literally 2 feet of snow?
Yes.
They don't close the gate.
Well, there's a sign, but literally
there's a sign that says we don't drive at your own risk. It basically says, look, we don't close the gate. And when it snows, it snows. When it ices, deal with it. And I love that. Leave it to the person. Don't close the gates. Don't, baby people. And our 4-wheel drive, we got a Chevy Silverado. It climbed that bad boy, highest mountain in West Virginia. Climbed it like it was nothing. It was great. I got to brag on the truck. Part of the channel. Our truck is a part of this channel. Needs a paint job, though. And probably going to need a transmission soon. Starscream Ghost said, brother, the sky opened for about 15 minutes down here. I was able to see some of the moon. Oh, wow. Really? Starscreams, I'm going to tell you something. I would love it on our channel, on our channel's Facebook page at Bill Marion Life. If you got any pictures, we will put it on a video, and we would love to, with your permission. We would love that. Dennis Jackson was talking about his dad doing radio, and he says, yes. Nathan said, you can save someone from themselves. Gates open protest. I don't even know what that is. Adam Conner says, hey, I don't think you saw my comment earlier, but we should write some. I would love to. And that's something we're doing with the kids at the church more of. This summer, when we had sort of an, 2020 stuff, pandemic stuff, one of the things that we've been talking about the Lord's moving on us at the church to do, we have birthed some songs at the church. We've not worn them out or anything, but we birthed one that we've been singing, and that's pretty cool. And it's something that wrote back in my office. But our kids, our college, we call them the kids, but they're adults. They are so talented. They're out of the JMU music program, and they're amazing. Most talented people I think I've been around ever, because when they come in, They're just so brilliant, and all of them have the potential to write, including O'Brien, who's on here right now. If you go to, I don't know if he's going to post a link or not, but I'd love for you to post a link if you're interested in people hearing your song, O'Brien. It's very interesting. It's great. I loved it. Brengie says, maybe not the way you drive it, but when you...
I think you missed the first one because she said, where'd it go? Needs a paint job because of how you drive it. And then she
Yes.
says, right, Carolyn. And then she says, maybe not how you drive it, but where you drive it.
You know, of course, all that was the video to which you're referring. You're right. I mean, a lot of that was exaggerated. Carolyn doesn't go that crazy when I do that. However, Carolyn does keep me from doing stupid stuff in the car. And I got to be honest with you, 90% of the time, Carolyn drives. I drive because the shot is better. So when we're shooting, I drive, but most of the time to our locations, Carolyn does every bit of the driving now. I don't know. I don't know if it's my eyes. I don't know if it's whatever, but it's better. Carolyn's better driver. Carolyn's better at a lot of things. I'm old enough to admit I am. I wish Carolyn, and I told her today, I said, you need to start doing, I don't have this framed right. I told Carolyn today, I said, you need to start doing the podcast. I mean, but she's like, no, I can't do it by myself. I'm like, yeah, you really could. She's great at everything she does. I
don't want to be in front of camera.
So yeah, Adam, I'd love to write. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's do this thing. Brengie says she's a very smart woman. You have no idea. Mike Adams says, speaking of the church, my grandmother's favorite song was Wings of a Dove. That's a good song. That's a good song. Annabelle Porter is saying Carolyn is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. Anybody going to go see Wonder Woman 1984? Anybody? It's 1984. That's going to be really cool. I don't know who's showing it around us because the theater down in Charlotte, from what I understand, is closed. And Carolyn and I are IMAX snobs. Like, that's the only theater we'll see a movie in. Brenchie's like, no, not going. Not going to do it. But if you do go, mask up. Word.
Oh, my gosh.
Word. You got to mask up. When you guys were talking about, hold on real quick.
What are you doing?
I thought it was a 911 text. I apologize. I apologize, viewers. I was inviting you into my circle, breaking the wall that is between us and inviting you in. Or just got distracted because of attention deficit disorder. Probably the second of the two. It was like my phone flashed and I was like, what's going on? Dennis Jackson said, I'll wait on the video. Speaking of videos, we've got 2 videos coming out. We got a video about snowshoe. You guys don't want to miss that video. I'm serious. You'll love that video. You'll love that video. If you like snow, like some of you guys love snow, and I know I do. And I love driving in it. I love like an abundance, like when it's just crazy, 15 feet and stuff. If you like that, you're going to enjoy the video Snowshoe. Carolyn and I were swept away literally at Snowshoe. And Snowshoe, West Virginia's second highest mountain is right there at Snowshoe. Thorny Flat is what the second highest mountain is called. It's right there. You need to watch that video when it comes out. I think it drops tomorrow at like 3:30. I can't remember the time, but it drops tomorrow. By tomorrow night, it'll be out. We had a great time shooting it, froze to death. And seriously, when you see the video, I talk briefly about how cold it was, and we weren't dressed right. We were in jeans and we were in jackets, and that's not what you do at Snowshoe. Snowshoe is the real thing. I crack on Ober-Gatlinburg a little bit as being a make-believe ski resort, because it is. It's not a real ski resort. But the thing is that Snowshoe it is the real deal. So it's cold, it's frigid. It's more like New England than the Mid-South where it's at now, which I don't even consider that the Mid-South, but that's just my opinion. But it's very nice. It's wonderful. And it is cold and snowy. So if you need a white Christmas, you need to go there.
Yeah.
You're going to get a white Christmas. It's just awesome. Continuing reading, where are we at, Carolyn?
So Deborah Bottle is Allie Bottom staying open with this COVID demon.
This COVID demon's killing us, man.
And then Annabelle.
It is.
Oh gosh, Annabelle.
Will you do
a video on Joe?
And somebody please say Joe who? Help her out here.
Joe Mama.
Joe Mama. Dennis Jackson says, is the fall in there? No, the fall is not in there. Now I wish Carolyn had filmed it. At the time, I'm serious. At first, it was funny. We were both laughing.
No, because hold on. First of all, I probably should have thought of it when you were being silly. But when I realized, like,
there was a switch. I felt when I got up to like waist deep and couldn't get out, there was a switch. There was a panic. My heart was pounding. I'm 47. And then you have that moment where you go, you've seen all those commercials and stuff where they're advertising something and somebody has a heart attack while they're shoveling the snow. I had that moment where like, I'm going to have a heart attack. It was just hilarious. It was fun. Listen, guys, it was hysterical looking back. So it makes me wish I had it on there just to give you guys a few chuckles. Mike Adams says, after Linda Carter stopped playing Wonder Woman when I was a kid, I lost interest. Listen, Linda Carter, do you remember the Wonder Woman on television, Carolyn? Did you see any reruns of her?
I don't.
Pull that up. Pull that up, Jamie. Pull that up, Jamie.
For what?
She was beautiful. Most beautiful. She was the Maybelline girl, man. She was absolutely. I wish we could just I can with the software that we're trying to use, but I can't tonight. But basically pull an image up. She was absolutely beautiful. But I actually like this Wonder Woman. What's her name? Godot. Is that it? Godot?
Hold on.
I like this woman this Wonder Woman is cool. Like she's more athletic, I guess, than Linda Carter. Linda Carter was Gal Gadot, the new Wonder Woman. I mean, I made fun of her Imagine bit this summer. When she got together with all the other people, and on YouTube they released that Imagine song. Like during COVID, you're going to release a song, Imagine There's No Heaven. It's John Lennon. I know the great John Lennon, but that song is just ignorant. And so I thought, why are we releasing a song about imagining there's no heaven and there's no hell? So I guess we're stuck in a purgatory. It's like the show Lost. What happened? It's like, that's what this is all about?
Oh, Green said, I thought you were talking of the animal snowshoe hair.
No. Yes, it's a place where the snowshoe hare, they are so gigantic. No, we're talking about snowshoe. It's in West Virginia. How did you and Carolyn meet? Nathan's saying, how did we meet? Sorry if you've answered this before. We actually talked about this a few nights ago.
Yeah.
Carolyn and Crystal. Crystal was like barely out of diaper. She's like 3.5 years old. She was a little taller. Nathan is 6 months older than Crystal. And so we in East Tennessee, as many of you know, if you're from the South, East Tennessee in March, you can get a foot of snow, but most of the time you can just about go swimming if you can endure it. And I took the kids. They were driving me crazy. I was a single dad at the time. And I thought, I love Polk County, Tennessee. If D-Lo was in here, that's a lot of his videos are in where I'm talking about right now. Drove over to Chilhowie just for the kids to have something to do. Went over there, and that's where I saw Carolyn for the first time, up on the beach on Chilhowie. I don't think that mountain's called Chilhowie. It's the mountain above Parksville, but it's Chilhowie Lake. And she was running from a bee because, it's spring, and she was running from a bee, and she was saying words that she would make a sailor blush. And I was like, good night. But we, casual conversation. I made some.
No.
Oh, goodness.
No.
Oh, goodness.
He's getting it all wrong. On the first trip, we did not talk at all. The very next weekend, we were both up there again.
The next weekend.
Yes.
It just happened to be that we were both there with our kids again. And keep in mind, it's an hour away from Carolyn's house. It was an hour and a half from my house. So it's odd that we would both be there the next weekend. And this is when her friend yelled at me and said, hey, my friend thinks you're cute. And then I went over there, and she was in a two-piece bathing suit. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, my Lord.
That's all I'm going to say. And I sat down beside her, and that's when – and we've been together ever since. It's been over 15 years ago. Yeah. Loving every second of it. Yeah. So there you go. That's how we met. And Juan Thomas says, Linda Carter was born in Phoenix, Arizona. Juan Thomas is always going to represent Arizona, and I love that. Deborah Bottle says she is still beautiful. Linda Carter was on Kelly Clarkson's show with her daughter, who is gorgeous. It doesn't surprise me. Mike Adams says, have you been to the Country Music Museum in Bristol, Virginia? Mike, I have not. You know what? There's a video there. If they'll let us shoot in there, there's a video. I need to contact them and see if they'll let us shoot. Mike Adams, DJ's laughing. Nathan saying, history made, good job. And Deborah saying, two were meant to be. I think so. And what's funny, I can get really into the nitty gritty of our story. I actually, 2 weeks before I met Carolyn, I'd been dating all these chicks. I wouldn't let any of the women that I dated meet my kids. It was like sacred. You're not meeting my kids. I had to know that I know. And I wrote out a list of all the things that I wanted in a woman. I wrote them out. I said, this is what I demand. And I prayed that list. I said, God, here it is. And I'm going to wait until she appears. And I was like, I need this, Lord. Man is not meant to live alone. It's what your Bible says. And I prayed that. 2 weeks later, I met Carolyn on the beach. That is literally how it happened. Carolyn met every single thing on that list. And the list is hilarious now. And I should have added some things. Should have had like, and she has to be a millionaire. And she has to be, I'm just playing. But it's awesome. Best decision outside of giving my life to Christ. One of the best decisions I've ever made is marrying Carolyn, without a doubt. Nathan says the Grand Ole Opry is a fun place to go. Yes, it is. So is Renfro Valley. If you ever get to go there. Justin says that's incredible. God's timing is perfect. Yes, it was, because the way he arranged that, Justin, was, if you think about it, because I was so concerned about my children, he made it to where I met Carolyn and Carolyn met me, and all of our children were there. Our children played together, who are now we are one family, but our children played together before we met. Think about that. They were at the beach doing their thing. I don't know how they were standing it because it was cold. Bridgie says, I'm going to have to find the Grand Ole Opry video. If you haven't archived it, I want to know what happened.
It's on there.
Okay. Go over there and watch it. It's actually a great video. There's several inside jokes going on about that video. One of them is that it gets brought up a lot. A lot of people in the comments on my chats will bring it up historically. Like, I found your video from the Grand Ole Opry and this and that. So that's one of the inside jokes. And another one is I seem to talk about it a lot. And I don't mean to. It always comes up, notice. But I would encourage you to go watch it. It's a great video as far as informative and things like that. And it's kind of funny. It's one of my earlier videos, though, when I was just learning to edit. So I would do things differently now, But there's some decisions I made in the editing that I'm like, why did I do that? But it's about 22 minutes. Did you post a link?
No.
Post a link. So you open up I'll tell you what, I'll go to a comment later and I'll post a link. That way we can keep the flow going. Adam Cutter says, man, people told me forever that I needed to make a list. I never did. But when I met Liz, I knew if I had made a list, she would have checked every box on it. That's how it works. That's how it works, Adam. I'm telling you, I think a lot of times when it comes to dating and something, I was very codependent when I was younger. When I was in my teens, I had a proclivity to fall into relationships that were destructive. And I did not know how to look. I didn't know how to search for a woman in the sense of how a woman would compliment who I am. But more than that is I didn't have a great relationship with God. And so I think it starts there. It starts with knowing who you are and having a destiny and believing in yourself and knowing that you're going somewhere and believing that you're going to get where you're going. And that changes everything. I had a friend of mine, Nathan Gilbert, who is a doctor, and we have been best friends since I was like 12 years old. I named my son Nathan after him. And yes. He told me one time, because I said, I keep dating these girls that end up being crazy. Seriously, I dated some of the craziest women in the world. And the one or two that were actually brilliant, smart, beautiful, I was too dumb for them. That happens, right? I wasn't me yet. And so, codependency will get you. You got to have faith in God and who you are and who He's calling you to be. And that will attract a better mate. And if you're a woman, it's the same way. There's no difference. It's absolutely the same. You got to know who you are, what you're pursuing. And then when God puts you together, it works together. I hope that made sense. I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil here. I'm just telling you the truth. We've helped a lot of people. I've married, I don't know how many people I've married now, probably 23, 24.
And when you say that, because the way you worded it is so funny. How many ceremonies you have?
How many ceremonies? And we do premarital counseling. I don't do a lot of marital counseling, and I'll get into that some other time. Because marital counseling is really just me preaching. And I don't mean in a loud voice and all that stuff, but it's really just me quoting what the Bible says about marriage. And because that's the best counseling. Here's what the Bible says: conform to the Bible. This is what do what this says. The marriage falls into place. Even with us, if we come to blows, we're like, here, we return to what the Bible says, and then watch everything sort out. We can talk about that later, some other time. I'll let Carolyn lead that conversation. She's good. She knows how to explain it better than I do. Gary's having to take off. Sorry, Gary. I will miss you, man. Cherokee Lake, Tennessee, says smart man. Thank you. I hope you're talking to me. If not, I'll take the compliment anyway.
Adam Connor, let's talk sometime. I'd like to share just how God brought us together.
I want to hear it. You can type it out if you want to. We'll talk about it. Is that the link to Cumberland?
Cumberland.
I mean,
Opryland.
I'm sorry, Opryland?
Yeah.
All right.
And then, let's see. Deborah said, do you counsel like Pastor Ron?
Deborah, I got to be honest with you. There was an inspiration there. Obviously, I mean, if there's a spirit, such thing as a spiritual father, he was definitely a spiritual father to me. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We took these classes on Wednesday nights way back when we were moving into the big building there in Abba's house, and it was Men of Valor, Women of Virtue. You remember that?
Yes, I do.
We were dating during that time period, and I'd been living in sin. Again, I was going the country music route, and when we married, when Carol and I met, I had 1 foot in church and 1 foot in bars. And I wasn't a good performer. Like I was trying to gig, but it wasn't that great. Okay. It wasn't that great. My goal was to write music, write books, and I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a paid writer, essentially be a paid writer, and wanted to pursue that. I was out of college. I had been mobilized for a few years, so it was kind of like catching my breath, but I was also very exhausted. I don't want to get into that, but life had exhausted me a little bit. So, and I'll be honest, I was doing some things I shouldn't have been doing. We'll just say that. Some of the things that are legalized in some states now, I was doing a lot of that, and it had me a psychosis a little bit too. I kind of got way diverted off the path God had me on, and so getting back into church, that Men of Valor, Women of Virtue really helped Carolyn and myself adjust our lives from the get-go. I had great advice from personal friends too. I don't have permission to mention their names, but I had great advice from personal friends who had successful marriages, and they had come out of sin. They'd come out of a whole lot of junk, and how they accomplished it to me was amazing. But they did it with biblical order and biblical structure, and it works. So yeah, kind of a lot like what Pastor Ron would say. I know we're getting way off the topic here. My account is going down a little bit. Start talking about serious stuff like that. It's because it's scary. Starscream's Ghost says, well, I never go to where I like everyone bears. I like everyone. Bears kill, snakes can kill, but people are the most deadly species on the planet. We are. That's indeed. Mike Adams says, I used to work with Ronnie Millsap's brother-in-law when I lived in Crossville, Tennessee. Crossville, Tennessee is a neat place. Like, it's happening. Nobody realizes how happening Crossville is. You go to Crossville, it's over there in the mountains. It's deep in the Cumberlands. Got a higher elevation there, and it's not like the Smokies. It's a whole different thing going on near Big South Fork and all that stuff. But there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of music going on. There's a lot of writing going on. It happens a lot. Nathan says alcohol and cigarettes kill more people than anything else. Can't believe both is still fully legal and heavily advertised. I agree. I totally, and we can get into prescriptions too about how, because me and my dad's talked about that a lot, about people run to the medicine cabinet and run to the medicine cabinet and run to the medicine cabinet. I agree with you. Adam Connor says, so last October we met on, this is Adam's love story. Adam and Liz, I got to hear this. So last October we met on a dating website. Excellent. And we went out a few times, and I wasn't very clear about how serious I was with her. There was another guy she was dating who did make it clear how he felt. Uh-oh, this is getting good. Keep typing. I'm in. I'm all in, Adam. So it's, again, if you're just joining us or popping in and out, we're talking about, it started with country music. And now listen, when you start with country music, you know the joke. What happens when you play country music backwards?
You get everything back.
You get your car back, you get your wife back, you get your trailer back, and so on. Ha, ha, ha. You get out of prison. That's another one too. That was another song I was singing earlier. I turned 21 in prison doing life without parole. Oh, it's so going to get demonetized. I don't care. DJ says doctors in general are just legal drug dealers. I've said that. How many times have I said that? 150 times. Doctors care about money. Otherwise, they would help people for free. Well, doctors have got to help. I mean, think about it. We got to make money. Money keeps the economy going. So, I mean, I'm sure they care about, my doctor cares about people. He does. And most of my doctors care about people. They got to make a living though. I look at it more from an insurance standpoint. That was always my thing, Nathan. But then again, there's so many sides to that story. Deborah Botbo says, true country song lyrics. I'm telling you. Adam Connor says, The COVID hit, and both those jobs in Indiana were canceled, so she stayed here, and we reconnected. Now, there's a country music song. So, Adam, somebody needs to write a music song about web dating. You know what I'm saying? Where you meet somebody on a dating service like that. There's got to be, and not a funny one. I mean, like a serious one. Because I know you can spoof that, but it's not. That's how people date now. Tinder, and is it Tinder?
Yes, that's right.
Tinder and all that stuff. That's how people, Cherokee Lake, Tennessee, and you get sober. Yes, you do, Cherokee. By the way, I like your handle there, Cherokee Lake, Tennessee. It's cool. O'Brien says, you're fine. There's a half chances
No, there's 1 in 12 chances.
1 in 12
of
chances.
getting back to you.
Oh, O'Brien, that hit right in the heart. You didn't miss you. Like, here's the atrium. Oh, and I'm going to remember that. Write that down, Jamie. Deborah Vlogmas says, and if the patient isn't proactive in their care, then they're just as responsible for addictions.
This is true.
Deborah, I totally agree, but it didn't used to be that way. That's something that's happened. And then you get into the situation that you should not have to go to medical school, even though I agree with you. I agree with both of y'all for that matter. But you should not have to go to medical school to go to your doctor. That's his job. So that's where I would agree with Nathan. And even though I agree with you, like, yes, it's your responsibility. But that means that you're going to spend hours and hours, and you didn't go to medical school. There's no reason that you should have to take the classes that your doctor's doing. But remember, it's called a practice because he's basically, your doctor is experimenting on you to see let's try this. Let's throw this at it. If you ever watch 30 Rock, okay, now listen, I know if you politically, they have a political stance and all that, but there's a doctor on there called Dr. Spaceman, it's Spatchaman or whatever, but it's hysterical to listen to him talk about stuff. Give that a try on YouTube sometime. Watch the clips. Annabelle says 1.5 chance. That's funny because there are 12. Because there are 12.
Yes, that's why.
Thanks, Annabelle.
Funny.
Thank you, Annabelle. Appreciate it. Thanks for the clarification. Love that kid.
Juan said, I don't date, I'm too young. And then, like, right below that, he put, where'd he go? He said, I'm only 67 and way too young.
You know what, Juan? I admire Juan so much, even though I've never met him in person. If I ever get to go back to, when we get to go back to Arizona, I'm going to buy Juan a steak dinner. I'm already looking for whatever he wants. If you want, because the best Mexican food I've ever had is in Arizona.
It was in Sedona.
It was in Sedona. It was the best Mexican food I've ever had in my life, Carolyn. I want to go back so bad.
Yes.
But I'm going to buy Juan whatever he wants. I'm going to take him. I'm going to say, where do you want to go? And I'm going to buy him food because at 67, and he's been on the channel contributing 3 years. And he is just always in the chat room. He's always in the comments. To be 67 and active, because you're always doing something. I just admire that. You're the same age as my dad. And that's 67, right? 68.
I don't know.
1951, whatever is that. I don't feel like mathing right now. I don't feel like mathing. Mike Adams says, I was drunk. He's singing a song. I was drunk the day my mom got out of prison. That's another. That's the thing. When you listen to the old songs, you got to finish with that one. John says, so true. Carolyn Super Starscreams Ghost says, I'm going to play me some Christmas music and go to bed. Merry Christmas, everyone. Starscreams, as always, thank you so much for stopping by. Merry Christmas. Deborah Vlogmas said, no, I mean about the use of hard meds, the kind where you're getting addicted. I had hydrocodone after my shoulder operation and could feel the need for them to quit. Oh, yeah. When I busted up my leg, which I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing about because I think once every 5 videos, for some reason, I mentioned my leg. My doctor did something amazing. He looked at me because they were telling me I was never going to walk right again, never going to jog again, all this stuff. And my doctor looked at me and said, now listen, and I didn't even ask about pain pills because it was one of those obvious situations that you're going to be on pain pills. And he looked at me and said, listen, I'm going to prescribe you. And it was like an outrageous 3 different medications for pain, all of them addicting. He said, listen, I'm going to prescribe all that you need on this. He said, but if you are really wanting to recover, like you say you're wanting to recover, the faster you get off these, the faster you recover. That was the last prescription I had. And I've not had narcotics since, ever. I don't know. It was like something clicked in me. And of course, my mom, I got to thank mom. And of course, God, it goes without saying, but I thank mom because mom looked at me a long time ago and said, there's always going to be a level of pain that you got to deal with, that you can't treat. You got to learn to deal with it. And the longer you learn to deal with it and push through it, even though it may be damaging or whatever, your pain tolerance increases. And that reminded me of stuff in football and in the Army that you just had to overcome, little nicks and bruises and bang ups and sprains. And so it really challenged me, and I never picked up that kind of medicine again. I think people lean on medicine too much. I've been guilty of that many times in my life. And when you compare that with what we call the herb or whatever, that's what Nathan was talking about earlier, comparing that to the herb, that argument is worth having. I will say this. Even my aunt, who I adore, I love Aunt Kathy. Aunt Kathy was on hydrocodone for a year, oxycodone for years. And we thought it was going to kill her when they took her off of it because she's got so many issues. But she loves the Lord, and she watches every service, every hope, every one of them. She watches 5 different messages on Sunday, loves the Lord. She quit oxycodone cold turkey using the CBD stuff. And here's the thing. She's not addicted to the CBD stuff now. So think about that. That's insane. Annabelle Porter says homemade tacos hit different. So good.
Because you missed, go back up to one. Where he says I had homemade tacos.
Homemade tacos. Yeah. Did you fry them one in the shell? You know what I'm talking about? I made those one time for Carolyn. Back to Adam Coner and his love story. He says, after we broke up, I was sitting at work and I thought to myself, if I had known it was the last time, I would have kissed her like the first time. Is that your song?
Well, and then right after that, he said, where did it go? He said, he didn't say I wrote that song.
Oh, okay. Excellent. As soon as I saw the line, I went, that's a line. Oh my gosh, you can get 3 minutes out of that line. You can get 3 minutes out of that. In case you didn't know, a hip 3-minute ditty, most songs are about 3 minutes. Can't be longer, doesn't need to be shorter because that is radio playtime. Or these days, you can download that quickly. I hate the distribution of modern music. I know it was messed up before, but it's messed up even more now. Deborah Bottle says exactly. And then, of course, Juan Thomas is going back and saying, yes, they are, Annabelle, referring to the homemade tacos hit different. They really do. Adam, BillMarion5@gmail.com. Carolyn, can you put that in the comments?
Somebody already did.
Somebody already did? Yeah, Bill-Marion5?
Again, but yeah.
I'm telling you, when they said you're taking off, when they said, hey, you've gone to Nashville and you were posting stuff on Facebook, I was cheering, man. I was like, holy cow, go Adam, go. And you post this stuff up there. I can't remember the name of the joint, but I've been there before, and it was under a different name, but I saw you there and I was like, I've been there. And it's where you can go. It's kind of like an open mic thing, but I don't remember the name of it. BillMarion5@gmail.com. I'm going to get spammed galore now.
Well, you said
I know. I even miss emails from my bishop sometimes because of how much spam I get. And then Gmail kind of takes it upon themselves to disperse it to the different places. You got your different places. Bluebird. I don't remember the name of it, Adam. I apologize. I do not remember the name, but maybe it's brighter. That's what I remember about all the time is what I like. It's bright. When you walk in, it's not all dark. It's very bright. Hey, Deborah, got it. She says, I got to go. If you're not on before Christmas, have a very blessed, safe, healthy, wonderful Christmas. We don't know yet. We're taking it one day at a time now. Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, of course, we won't be, but we're taking it one day at a time until then. So we have no idea, but we definitely got videos releasing regardless. So make sure that you're subscribed because we will be dropping videos. Mike Adams says, I agree. Tell my sister and teaching my niece, we all have and develop limitations, but we just have to learn how to make the faith invest with those limitations and even push through them when need be. Yes, everybody has the kryptonite. Superman had, kryptonite, and everybody's got their kryptonite. The thing in their life that makes it difficult. The whole thing with Superman and his kryptonite. We could break that down. There's so many analogies with this fictional character. But Superman a lot of times had to have help when the kryptonite was around. Somebody had to help him. He couldn't really adjust to the kryptonite on his own. So he had to have help. So this Superman, there was that one thing that he couldn't do by himself. If you think about that analogy, it's pretty good. Adam says that's not the Bluebird. Yeah, wherever it was, it's brighter. Maybe the way you shot it, I don't know, and I might be remembering it wrong, but I remember looking at it and saying, I've been there. Mark says 3 minutes gives room for gives no room for Robin Trower's two Rolling Stone, but that ain't no country. No, I mean you got your folk songs. You got Alice's Restaurant, which isn't country, but it's our Thanksgiving. My son Nathan and I, We every Thanksgiving, every holiday, really, we listen to Allison's restaurant. Allison's restaurant. No, Alice's
It's
restaurant.
Allison.
Allison's restaurant.
Alice.
Alice. It's Alice. What's wrong with
I
us?
knew it was Alice.
Every Christmas and Thanksgiving, and because like I introduced him to the song, he got addicted to the song, and then we listened to the Rocky Road to Dublin, and I can't remember the name of the group. In the early month of June, homemade pozole is also good. Yes, it is. Adam Conner said, after I met Garth, what's that?
The High Kings.
High Kings.
Your songs, the High King. That's what I'm saying.
The High King, yeah, the High Kings. Yes, the High Kings. If you're bored, Carolyn will post a link here to the High Kings. In the early month of June, it's just a lot of fun. Adam says, after I met Garth, name dropper. Everybody catch the name dropper. I love it. I do it too. After I met Garth, I knew I had to move here. He told me never to give up on writing. It was 3 months later, I met the woman I wrote my first song about, and that has to be Liz. Oh, that's beautiful. We need to somehow get all of those paragraphs together so we can tell that love story. That's beautiful, man. Pozzoli, Adam Conner. I keep saying Conner. Adam Conner said this was just the right place, right time, meeting my hero. Garth is awesome. I don't think people realize, or maybe it's Garth's marketing. After his hype, his marketing team kind of failed him. But Garth Brooks was a modern Elvis, and he changed the way we want to see a concert. He brought a show like a heavy metal show kind of thing to country music, and some people didn't like that. Some people said that's not country, and some people blamed Garth for ushering us in to a new country. What I do know about this is that when Garth was at his best in the late 80s, 89, 89 and 90. I think that's when Friends in Low Places came out, somewhere around then. And never forget, several country music stars had that song on their album, Friends in Low Places. Mark Chestnut was one of them because I had that album, and he sung it differently, but Garth blew it up. And man, he just took it there. Adam says he was so nice and has been so supportive. He's a great guy. Rocky Road to Dublin. Expand your music experience. Expand your music. Do not get, and I say this to everybody, even because my wife's the worship leader at church and she's amazing, and I tell her this constantly, do not focus in on one kind of music. And church people are guilty of this, so guilty because they don't want to push the envelope. And listen to some rap, some Christian rap. Listen to the classics. Listen to the bigger stuff than what you're used to listening. Make yourself do that. So I don't like this kind. Sample it. You'll be surprised. Cherokee Lake, Tennessee said that has a lot to do with Garth being a huge Kiss fan. Yeah. Said my first concert was Kiss in Knoxville. Man, back in the day, Kiss was in my childhood, kind of ended by the time I was in junior high and high school. And so every preacher in the world preached to. I was never allowed to have a Kiss album, and I didn't know anything about their music till I was in high school. I discovered the Eagles. Now, I know that right now we're in an era where the Eagles are terrible. Everybody hates them and bashes them, which that will change. They got so big and their music saturated, radio gaga. So what happened is that they owned radio for a while. Okay, so everybody got sick of them. But when I discovered the Eagles, it was like they are one of the greatest rock bands ever. They're phenomenal. But Kiss, I didn't really discover their talent until later. Adam Conner says, one Saturday after a weekend in Nashville, me and my mom were praying about moving here. While praying, I heard God tell me to change my number because I would be moving within 12 months.
And then read his next comment.
Wow. Next comment says, the following Monday, I went into work and they told me my job was relocating to Nashville. Boom. Excellent. That's a fist pound because it's 2020, man. Elbow. Mask up. Word. In case you don't get why I keep doing that, when Carol and I, just a reminder, when Carol and I were over in Horseshoe.
Snowshoe.
Yeah, it's not a horse. I don't know. There's horseback riding on Snowshoe, though. And giant rabbits. Sorry, that was for a brain. Giant rabbits. Giant snowshoe hares. Anyway, when we were going over there was like signs. There were signs everywhere, and the signs would say "mask up,"
and they were big.
And they were giant signs. It's like a marketing push for everybody wear their mask. And it would say, and every time it would say "mask up!" exclamation point, and I'd be like, "Word!" Every time. It was great. The following Monday, I went into work and they told me, okay, we got that one.
Read O'Brien.
O'Brien says, let's go. Africa Christian music.
African Christian music.
African, sorry, Christian music. At Annabelle Porter, improvising like your life depends on. I love improvisation, man. You get some musicians in the jam. Just don't. I love it, man. Cherokee Lake, Tennessee says, I'm old, but you're never too old to expand your palate. Oh, I could preach that all day long. Let's do it, actually. Give me the key. And then O'Brien Tannen says hello. Or LOL. What am I saying? I got stuck on the name. Timon. I don't know why I've got an issue with that. I mess up that name every time. Adam Connor says, and the song I wrote just may be getting pitched to his wife. Man, I'm going to tell you, that made my night, Adam. That is exciting. And you know what? Good or bad, it doesn't matter. You're in the batter box. In other words, whatever the outcome, being in the batter box is awesome. The fact that you got to the batter box and, you're prepping to knock it out of the park, that, to me, that is where most people, 99.999% of the people that are swinging for the fences never get to the batter box. And you did. And that's awesome. So, man, praise God for that. That's amazing. Listen, guys, we're an hour and 5 minutes into this, running a tad bit over. Looking forward to this next year. This next year, we're going to release solid videos about subjects, our normal thing that we do. We're going to release those on Tuesday evenings at 9:30, 9-ish, something. What I do is I follow the suggestions of the algorithm on that. It's usually in the evening. So that'll be on Thursday. Then on Tuesday. I always mess this up. That'll be on Tuesdays this next year, starting in 2021 in the middle of January. So it'd be like the second week of January, we'll start this. And then that Thursday, we will do a live stream until we're done. There will not be a timer. It could be 2 or 3 hours. We're going to go until the conversation dies. That's how we're going to do it. We are hoping to have the living room set up in such a way that a little bit different thing going on. So I'm excited about that. Mike Adams says, I'm almost 49. Oh, you were not old. And I never really was into hip hop, but there's a couple that I would listen to, for instance, MC Hammer. Yeah, he had quite a few hits with Positive Message. For instance, this song, I remember that. You got to pray. I remember that. You got to pray just to make it today. I remember that. Yeah, I had MC Hammer's tape, man. And I was jamming out with my 2 6x9s and 10 in my truck. Yeah, Pioneer. That's what I'm talking about. Juan Thomas says, meteor shower tomorrow night. That's the other thing that in 2019, in 2021, that's another. It's going to be more than a goal. We are going to make the camera happen. Mark says, is John Denver allowed? Yeah. One of the most prolific writers, or not writers. He actually bought a lot of his songs, and that's fine. But Johnny Boy is amazing. I love John Denver. Of course, I'm not a huge fan of the song country, the West Virginia song, because it's not true. And we'll talk about that. I have talked about that on another DVD. What is wrong? I'm getting tired. That's what it is. Cherokee Lake, Tennessee said, Adam, I booked Chris Stapleton back before he hit big for $500 at a place here in East Tennessee. And at the time, he had no idea he'd be winning 4 Grammys and 12 months later. Keep on doing your thing. And I think everybody in here, Adam, we got such a positive community. I love our community that's growing in here. I love it because they're so positive. We don't really have to worry about a lot of negativity ever in the chat room here. So we are so blessed. So, Adam, stick around too. Always come back, Adam. Make sure you're subscribed because, there's a lot of people in here that love to hear your stories as you grow and share them. And we'll be like behind the scenes. And these are good people. We'll talk to you guys later. Be blessed. And probably see you tomorrow night. See you.